Hey YouTube, I'm back. Been busy messing with a remodel of a shower, bathroom, all that good stuff, which I should have got on video for you guys because then I could tell you not to do it because it's a pain. Anyway, today we're working on sprinklers. Got a anti-siphon vacuum brake valve, whatever you want to call it, and it's leaking out of the top here. It was also leaking out of the bottom, which just means it needs to be re-taped and doped and all that good stuff. But so I tore into this thing thinking I'd be able to find a repair kit in town, and I'll kind of show you. I already have it apart, so I'm just going to kind of go backwards. And got 3 screws on top. This used to be a plastic cap to protect this little needle valve or whatever it is. I'm not a plumbing expert, so unscrew this guy. Best way to do it, use a screwdriver, get some leverage on it. And I don't know if that was leaking or if it was most likely the seal here. It's like a plastic O-ring that's pretty cruddy. And you got more rubber gaskets or O-rings and a spring, and that spring comes out of there. It's kind of a pain. So that comes out, and then inside there's another screw, and I think this is what actually makes it seal. We got another rubber and a little plastic like a stopper, and the stopper's got some wear on it. That's worn, and I don't know if there's a third little projection off of that. You can see that's worn down pretty good. So what I did is looked on Amazon for a new rebuild kit for this thing, or a parts kit, whatever you want to call it, and they have them. They're 40 bucks. Was the cheapest I could find. And the bad thing about that is I gotta wait a few days, plus I need a new top cap. So 40 bucks plus a $12 top cap, plus shipping, plus 3 days. I just went out to Home Depot and bought a new one. So I will save this one for a spare if I ever need it. Let me grab the new one and I'll show you guys. So here's the new one, guys. It's a pressure vacuum breaker, 765 PVB with BV, which must be ball valve. Yeah, with ball valves. And it's a 1-inch. So this was 90 bucks at the Lowe's. And funny story, they keep them up on the top shelf. They got big pictures of them. And I couldn't reach it. You know, I'm about 6 foot. I couldn't even get close. So I was waiting around for Mr. Lowe's over there to quit BSing with some other guy, and after about 5 minutes I lost my patience, and I went and grabbed a ladder out of the ladder section and went and got my own damn part. So to all you Lowe's workers, hurry up or I'm going to do it myself. Wow, that's fancy. So pretty much what I figured from the other one is you're paying, well, for this one it'll be 45 bucks for all the gizmos and another 45 bucks for the castings. This one's actually got a metal bell on it, and I've seen the repair kits sold. Oops, let's be in the frame here. I've seen the repair kits at Lowe's and Home Depot for FEBCO. So if this thing gives me any problems, I can just run down to the store and grab some new parts. So I'm going to get this bad boy hooked up. For whatever reason, when people plumb, and I didn't do the entire sprinkler system, I've just been rebuilding it because it's garbage, they don't put unions anywhere. So if you cut anything apart, add the unions back in. So if you ever have to work on anything, you can just plug and play and take stuff apart and do what you need to do without having to cut your pipes and buy new fittings. And if you're not sure what a union is, well, I'll go grab that too, and then we can take a look at it. Oh shit. Yeah, that's 1 inch. Okay. I'm bad with plumbing. I always get the wrong stuff. So I have to take a bunch of stuff back and go get more stuff and whatever. But that's what we're doing today. Okay guys, so these are my 1-inch unions, and I got these from the Homeless Death Spa, and it's just PVC, and it's got an O-ring impregnated in there. Well, not impregnated, but like pressed in there. And that pushes up against flat surface and creates a seal. So if you have to work on the system, I don't honestly know. I plumbed for a while. Oh, garbage. I gotta go get a fitting, because that's something different. Anyway, so if you ever got to work on the system again, can you see that? Hello. There we go. You break the unions apart, and then you can take this whole piece out without having to cut your pipes and go get new fittings, like I do for this one. I might have that to dig through the bin of junk. I guess if you really want, we can show you how to glue PVC pipe together too. Okay, so I found some instrucciones, and yeah, I'm gonna look at the instrucciones, because there are these little chinguses on the ends here, and in my old Wilkins or Wilkin or whatever it was, they were just plugs. So it looks like these are test cock plugs and tethers. So we'll have to do video part 2 on how to blow this thing out for winter. So we'll get there. And I did find the part I needed, just happenstance, because I save everything, extra parts for extra rainy days. Let's cut this thing off. Jeez. Good thing this isn't a how to use a Sawzall video. You always want to clean up all the chips and get all the crap out of there. You really don't want any of this stuff going into your new valve, pressure vacuum breaker valve, because there's a lot of parts in there, and I'm sure if they get a little bit of debris in them, they'll clog up, which is interesting because I know a lot of people who run the sprinklers off of well water, and there's a lot of sand and garbage coming out of well water, rust, and shit, there's rust in our tap water. But anyway, clean them up. Let's see. I know I grabbed it. There it is. I should probably dry fit all this and make sure it's going to fit, but ain't nobody got time for that. So we're going to do a primer, purple primer. Make sure you coat everything. And like I said, I'm not a professional plumber. I'm not a professional sprinkler guy. Never had these leak. Let it dry. Put it on your coffee cup. And do the inside of this while you're at it. Some guys scuff it up. You know, whatever floats your boat. We'll let that chooch a little bit, and then we'll come back and put the glue on. Alright guys, our primer's been chooching for a little while. The way I understand it, it's a chemical reaction between the primer and the PVC that makes it do what it's supposed to do, and I think it just breaks it down a little bit so that when you glue it, it's more of a solid connection. There's probably a technical term for that, but here's the glue. I always use way more than I need, just because by the time you do your next project, it's usually dried out anyway. So, and go in all the way and hold it. And when you're holding it, you're keeping it from pushing back, because there's pressure in there when you push it in. And if you got glue dripping out, I don't really care. If you do, don't use so much damn glue. Couple seconds, you're good to go. It kind of looks like a weld on there, yeah? Yeah, that's all I'm doing. I'm just welding it with glue. So I'm going to go dry fit all this up, make sure everything's going to fit, and then I might videotape out there. I don't know. Our neighbors are probably think I'm crazy already, but if I'm out there talking to myself with a video camera, they'll probably think I'm even weirder. So anyway. Okay, let's do a real quick Teflon thing. Always wrap in the direction you're going to turn. So we're going to wrap clockwise. I'm sorry, yeah, we're going to wrap clockwise so that when you screw this in, it's not trying to peel off the Teflon tape. Make sense? Cool. So, a little bit of ramblings here. I am going to start doing just random whatever I'm doing videos because I don't have enough welding content to keep you guys entertained. Not to mention all the projects and all the other garbage that goes on around here. So, you'll just get to follow me in whatever I'm doing. That way you have fresh content and I'm still making videos for you guys. And a lot of this stuff is everyday stuff that you will probably have to do at one point or another. So it'll be good for everybody, I think. So we'll see what happens. The bad thing about making the videos is it takes twice as long to do anything. And time is of the essence anyway. So always back up when you're tightening stuff. Otherwise you start tightening more than you originally wanted to. And this particular valve recommends not to use Pookie. What's the Teflon dope, pipe dope. We always call it Pookie because it's more fun. But they recommend not to use that stuff because if it gets up inside the valve, it could clog crap up, and then you're not going to have a properly working valve. So, and with the brass to brass connection, you don't want to go too tight because you can actually crack the brass. With brass to PVC, the PVC will deform before the brass, and if you end up breaking the PVC, it's $2 Lego piece. So go tight. That way you don't have to try to get the threads out. I saw a guy do that the other day. He ended up jacking up his threads. But anyway. Okay guys, so I flushed out the tube here to get all the parts out, all the shavings, the PVC shavings out of there. And I have to do some more cutting anyway, so you'll probably get to see another one. But I'm going to go ahead and tighten this guy up onto the valve so we can get the correct distances here. I don't know if you guys can see any of this, but I don't really have a very good angle to work at. Shoot. We get that guy nice and tight. Tight like a toiga. Then we can start figuring out what needs to cut. It's going to be kind of a pain on the tube coming up because it's really short and it's really close to the valve tube, I guess you call it, the thing that's 6 foot underground. Okay, and it's going to sit. I tell you which direction to go. The flow goes that way. Holy smokes. Okay, I'm going to have to cut that way down. So I gotta make room for my unions. I should have brought a tape measure, but I did not. That's gonna sit about right there. Okay. Best thing I got here, I need a pencil too. Got a pen. So, basically I'm going to just chop this guy here. So that gives me, well, I'm going to chop him back here. That gives me room for my fitting. And then I can cut this guy. Clean up the chips best you can. We'll flush this out so it doesn't get in the sprinklers. That would be no bueno. Okay, got our primer. And these don't have a direction on them flow wise, so I don't think it matters, but it would make sense to me it doesn't matter. Yeah, look at the snot drip off of that. I don't even know if you can see that. Yeah, you can see that good. Okay, same thing. A little bit of primer. Put some schmoo on here. Probably don't want to get too much in that union because it could mess with the way it works. And hold. Okay, I'll do the bottom and get with you later. Alright guys, here's the finished vacuum breaker valve. FEBCO 765-1. No leaks, 2 unions. Everything's back to normal, so we'll see how long she lasts.